Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the Nike Tiempo Legend 5 in the brand new Volt Metallic Gold and Hyper Punch colorway. Now inside the box, as you get with all the top-end models from Nike, a string bag is included. This particular string bag is Volt Yellow in color with black strings. On the front you're going to find a black Nike swoosh, and on the opposite side of the bag you're going to find the black Nike football branding. So we'll get that out of the way. And other than that, all you're going to find inside the box are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these out of here really quickly. And if you guys could take a second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here is a look at the World Cup 2014 colorway of the Nike Tiempo Legend 5. And as you can see, they are very, very bright. The base color is Volt Yellow. And for those of you guys that have been watching the tournament on TV, which I'm sure is most, if not all of you at this point, I'm sure that there are certain shoes in particular that stand out or jump out as kind of the most vibrant out of all the shoes that the players are wearing for the World Cup. And to me, that shoe is definitely the Nike Tiempo Legend 5. I think it's because it's a solid Volt base in comparison to something like the Nike Magista, which also has a Volt base color. Because these are so kind of vibrant all over, it's one color, the entire sole plate you can see is all Volt. It just, for whatever reason, pops on TV to me, at least when I'm watching the games. But I guess leave your comments down below. Let me know which shoe to you personally really kind of stands out of all the shoes for the 2014 World Cup. That is an opinion I'd like to kind of get your stance on, because I think it's kind of interesting to see who's done the best as far as getting their shoes noticed for the 2014 World Cup. So that's it for the intro, and let's get right into the details on the Tiempo Legend 5. To start things off, you may have already noticed that the pair I have on the table in front of me actually has some customization on it. Now this is customization through soccer.com, where essentially you pay an extra $9.99, so it's $10 to have the customization. It's not cheap, but it's not terribly expensive either. And it kind of does allow you to personalize what would otherwise be a pretty standard colorway, if you will. A lot of people are going to have these colors, especially the ones for the World Cup. But again, if you want yours to be a little bit different, that customization process is an option for you. So for an extra $10, you can essentially put your name and number. You can see I put my name and number 8, which is generally a number that I like to wear when I play. And you have the option to also choose the color. I went for black just because I thought it would really stand out against the light Volt Yellow base. But you can choose from a ton of different colors: red, black, metallic gold, silver, whatever it may be. They have tons and tons of colors listed, and you can kind of match it up with the colorway, or you can make something that really just stands out, or is a color that you like personally that you think is going to look good on the shoe. You also have the option to kind of change the positioning of the customization depending on the shoe. So sometimes you can put it straight, sometimes you can put it here. It just depends on the model, because obviously they have to have a flat surface to print it on, and the printing is the biggest thing here with the customization. Normally customization would be embroidered on the shoe, and that looks good. It has more of a premium vibe than this, but what embroidery does is it voids your warranty with the company. So in this particular situation, if something were to go wrong prematurely with the Nike Tiempo Legend 5 that I have right here, if it were embroidered, Nike's warranty department would consider that as a modification to the shoe, and because it's been modified, your warranty is automatically voided. But because this is just printed on top of the upper, it's not considered a modification, and should something go wrong, Nike will still warranty the product. So that's really good. So again, for an extra $10, you basically can choose your customization, choose the positioning, choose the color. It takes an extra 2 or 3 days for them to process the order, just because they actually have to print it on the shoe before they send it to you, but that's not too big of a deal. And again, for an extra $10, it's a pretty seamless, easy process, and it does allow you to have something that is a little bit more unique than just a standard pair of shoes, whether it be Nike, Adidas, Puma, whatever the brand, whatever the model may be. As far as the colorway is concerned, we talked about it a little bit at the start of the video. This is the World Cup colorway. It's mainly Volt Yellow, and for those that aren't a fan of kind of the two-tone Tiempo series of colorways that Nike's been putting out with this shoe since it's released, this one's a little bit different because it is solid all the way over. You can see that the instep is not a different color like we've been seeing as of late. So again, solid Volt Yellow, and the leather has more of a matte finish as opposed to a shiny finish, which is kind of flip-flop depending on the colorway, but nonetheless looks and feels really, really good. You can see the Nike swoosh here on the outside has a black outline. It's still stitched on top, as you guys can see, and then you have that metallic gold kind of detail, similar to what you're going to find find on all the other World Cup colorways from Nike. And to me, it just really looks good against that Volt yellow base. And then the Nike swoosh here on the instep has, again, that same black outline, but instead it's that Hyper Punch pink with that same type of pattern and kind of like a lighter orange color. And again, it looks really, really good. You're going to find your ACC branding in black right there on the tongue. Another black Nike swoosh right there. On the very back, you're going to find your Tiempo branding, again in black. The heel liner is a combination of Volt yellow and black at the very back. The insole is Hyper Punch pink in color with your black Nike swoosh and Tiempo branding. And then the entire sole plate, as you can see, does not have the normal patterns you would find on a pair of Nike Tiempo Legends, but instead you get a Nike swoosh right there in black, and then it's just one solid Volt yellow sole plate that's kind of translucent in color, which to me looks really, really good. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. And we'll move on next to all of the tech specs and what you need to know in regards to the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, if you guys would like more info, I would strongly recommend checking out the detailed full written review on my website, linked down below in the description, and I'll also leave an annotation on screen to my playtest video of the Legend 5, where you can actually see the shoes in action, as well as hear some of my thoughts on the overall performance. Starting off with the upper though, this is Nike's modern take on a classic shoe. Obviously they have the Nike Premier, which is kind of more of a plain Jane kangaroo leather upper design. This has that similar plain Jane kangaroo leather upper, but with a bit of a twist. So the kangaroo leather that you get is what I would say is on the thinner side in comparison to something like a Copa Mundial or something like that, but it's very, very soft, feels great, and it's finished off with ACC all conditions control, acting as your wet control element. But that's something you're going to find on all the top end models from Nike, and not necessarily a highlight feature, if you will. The tongue is a synthetic material that is relatively thin, but there's a nice thick memory foam strip running through the middle that kind of matches the thickness of the rest of the upper. But really the highlight around this kangaroo leather upper is the Hyper Shield liner, and you can see the Hyper Shield branding right there. Essentially it's a liner on the inside, where I can show you guys it a little bit. It's essentially the backing mesh material that you're going to find as the base layer for Nike Skin Synthetic found on the Hypervenom Phantom. Now this makes up for one single layer of material for the entire liner of this kangaroo leather upper. Normally the liner would be made up of several different layers, which locks in moisture, makes the upper a little bit heavier, doesn't allow for as natural of a feel. But with the Hyper Shield liner, you don't have that moisture lock in. It's more comfortable, it feels more sock-like. It doesn't restrict the flexibility or just general softness of the kangaroo leather. And it also just makes for a more comfortable feel overall. It just really does feel different from your standard pair of kangaroo leather soccer shoes. It also does have a tighter than average fit for a pair of leather boots, but that's something I'll talk about a little bit later in the video. So central lacing system, pretty much an average cut in the heel, an internal plastic heel counter. You can see the sole plate kind of comes up a little bit here at the back as well, kind of locking your heel in place when you are making those hard lateral cuts. So again, it feels nice and stable despite the upper being so soft. And as far as the insole is concerned, it's fully removable. You can see it's perforated all the way throughout, features a mesh liner on top, a really nice layer, or nice thickness of this yellow foam material. Then you're going to find pour-on inserts in the heel, as well as in the forefoot and big toe area, making for some really great step-in comfort. This is a fantastic insole for a pair of high-end soccer shoes. The heel liner, as you can see, is mostly synthetic leather. It's a smooth synthetic leather on either side. Then the very back heel portion is a perforated synthetic in a black color, and it just feels really solid, has a nice consistent feel. Even several months down the line after playing, it's not going to harden up or become uncomfortable or anything like that. As far as the sole plate is concerned, this is the new sole plate and stud pattern for the Nike Tiempo Legend 5, which isn't too far off from what we had in the past. It's one single layer of a TPU plastic material. It's got a decent thickness to it and really nice flexibility. You can see there's this one little flex groove. It's a very fine line right in the base of the sole plate, right in the forefoot area. Inspired by the Nike Free, according to Nike, is supposed to make for a more flexible feel, but honestly it's such a minimal slit in the sole plate, it's not going to make much of a difference, and doesn't feel noticeably more flexible than any other soccer shoe that comes to mind, at least in my opinion. You also do have that split toe design, which again is another thing Nike's incorporating on all their latest models that to me does not have any impact on how the shoe feels or performs. There's a support beam right here in the middle just to stiffen up that midfoot area, which it will do effectively, but overall it's a pretty plain Jane sole plate, but definitely does get the job done. As far as the stud pattern is concerned, it's again a standard Tiempo stud pattern with some minor changes. You have your standard bladed studs in the heel, 4 to be exact, your 8 conical studs in the forefoot, 2 bladed support studs in the middle, and then the addition this year is the one mercurial S stud right at the tip of the toe, which is something we now have on all the new stud pattern lines on all of Nike's current models, I should say. So again, in terms of overall performance, I really like this stud pattern. It's one of my personal favorite to use on firm natural grass. And what's great about the Tiempo series and just the high-end models in general from Nike is they're available in all the different stud variations. So you can get a firm ground model if you're going to be playing on grass most of the time. If you're playing on soft ground, the Soft Ground Pro variation is always an option. Or if you're playing on artificial grass, you can always go for the AG variation. And you're going to have optimal performance on all of these different playing surfaces. So that's pretty much it as far as all the tech specs and what you need to know in regards to the overall performance of the Nike Tiempo Legend 5, and move on next to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. Based on the materials and just general construction of the Legend 5, you'd probably guess that this shoe weighs anywhere between 9 and 11 ounces, but it's actually a little bit lighter than that, which may surprise a few people. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. Going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.5 ounces. So as far as kangaroo leather, more traditionally styled soccer shoes are concerned, these are on the lighter side of things. So again, if you're looking for something that is going to offer that more traditional feel, but isn't necessarily going to weigh you down, the Nike Tiempo Legend 5 is an absolutely fantastic option, both in terms of how light it is, and also in terms of the comfort it provides and the touch that it provides on the ball. So that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of this video is concerned, and move on next to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit, and of course what the sizing is like. Alright, well here's a look at the Nike Tiempo Legend 5s on feet, and from right out of the box, these are relatively comfortable shoes. What's unique about the Legend 5 versus most kangaroo leather soccer shoes is it features the X1.1 last, shared from the Hypervenom line, so it has a more snug fit, mainly in the toe box area, especially from brand new. So give it a couple hours of break-in time, and they'll stretch really nicely. They'll form to the exact shape of your foot. The leather softens up even more than it already is from right out of the box, and it just makes for a very snug yet comfortable fit, which is what you would expect from a pair of kangaroo leather soccer shoes. But again, they're a little bit tighter overall, which is not a bad thing by any means. I think if you're used to a more modern style of soccer shoe, but still want to feel the premium sensation of kangaroo leather, you're really going to like the feel of the Legend 5. As far as width is concerned, it's probably the widest shoe that Nike makes at this point in time, and considering it is natural leather, it will stretch. So if it fits you a little bit snug from right out of the box, which is more or less to be expected, don't worry, they will stretch and give a little bit in the overall width. But again, as long as you don't have really, really wide feet, this is a shoe that's going to be suitable for most foot types. As far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size, not wearing my usual size. These run a half size small, so instead of wearing my usual size 9 US, I'm wearing a size 9.5, and the fit and length is pretty much perfect. So just please keep in mind, I realize it's a kangaroo leather soccer shoe, and normally you would go down in size as opposed to up in size, but these do run half a size small, so if you are looking for the best possible fit, I would strongly recommend going half a size up. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the Nike Tiempo Legend 5 in the World Cup 2014 Bolt Yellow colorway. Really big fan of how this shoe looks, even though I'm not really into wearing super bright shoes. But again, if you want something that's really going to stand out, to me these are one of the most vibrant shoes we're going to see all summer long. And in terms of performance, I really am a big fan of the Nike Tiempo Legend. As far as Nike models go right now, this is one of my go-to shoes. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, if you want more information on the overall performance, be sure to check out the full written review on my website, linked down below in the description. On that same review page, you're also going to find the high quality images of the shoe that'll give you a better idea as to how it actually does look in person. And you're also going to find Buy It Now linked with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, allowing you to pick this up below the $200 retail price. So be sure to go ahead and check that out if you're interested in a pair for yourself. Other than that, if you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful, be sure to support it with a like. If you have any questions or suggestions for videos you'd like to see, be sure to leave your comments down below, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you're not subscribed already, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.